it's me, back at it again. And without further ado, let's dive into today's video. So, today I thought it'd be really fun to do a little bit of a first impressions, but also kind of show you guys how I do like my complexion. So, my foundation, my bronzer, my blush, my highlight, just really simple, how I get like a very simple, cute little look. I thought it'd be really fun to kind of show you guys what I do and then try some new products for you. So, let's grab our Jeffree Star mirror. That was really high-pitched and really annoying. All right, so first I'm gonna start with primer. I actually have never used this primer, but I was at Ulta today and I was like, oh, I'm gonna get some new products, and look what I ran into. The Morphe Revitalizer. So I thought it'd be really cool to see how I feel about this. I've heard really good things, and Morphe products are like some of my favorite products. So I just squeezed a little on my hand and I kind of want to feel it. It does have more of like, I don't want to say silicone-y, but like a lotion-y feel, but very smooth. It says that it will blur and soften imperfections, which I need that. So let's take a little bit, and I'm just going to start to fill in my pores. Now for me, the one place that I love to fill in my pores the most is going to be my cheek and my nose area. However, whether foundation will stick to my nose is a big hit if I'm going to love the primer, because sometimes I'll put primers here and they don't stick. So I'm just going to kind of dab a little bit into this area. My skin is so dry. I hate winter. I just want summer back, but I guess that's what I get for living in Michigan. So I'm just going to kind of fill in. Wow, this is actually really hydrating. I am loving this primer. However, for me, like, it's not really filling in my pores as much as I would like. Like, I can still see my pores very clearly in my cheek area. But for me, like, pores aren't a huge thing because I can hide them with makeup. So, but I kind of like having a very smooth canvas. And this, to me, isn't really hiding my pores that well. I'm sorry, Morphe. I'm just going to see if I use a little bit more product. No. In fact, I think it's actually making them look more noticeable. Alright, we're just going to put that all over the whole face. Alright, next we're going to dive into one of my favorite foundations. I don't have a new foundation to try because they're all getting shipped in the mail. For some reason, Ulta, I wanted to try like ColourPop or Morphe, but they didn't have any of their foundations in store, so I'm waiting in the mail to get a couple new foundations. But I'm going to go to my tried and true. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. This is in the shade Light Cool. I'm going to apply this with my Morphe sponge, and then I'm actually going to show you a trick that I learned. I want to say Jackie Aina is the one who I saw this from. So we're going to start by putting a little pump on our hands, and then I'm just going to start dabbing it on our face. Now with this foundation, a little goes a long way, and I've learned that you don't need a ton. Alright, now that that's on, we are going to take our Jeffree Star and Morphe setting spray, and we're just going to spray it all over our face and then blend in our foundation. I want to say Jackie Aina. I'm pretty sure that's who I learned that from. Alright guys, and there is my Kat Von D foundation all blended out. I love the finish of this foundation, especially when I use this combo with it, because it looks just so hydrating, so, I don't know. I just love something about a hydrated look. So I've never used any of Morphe's Complexion products, so I really wanted that to kind of be the star of the show when I'm trying stuff. And this is going to be the Morphe Concealer. I got it in the shade C1.25, and we're just going to throw this under our eyes, and we're going to see what we think of it. I'm going to start with just a little bit so I can see, kind of get a feel for how it's blending. And I'm just going to put in this in the areas I like to be brightened. I do not like the smell of this. It literally smells like paint, and I hate to say that because I love Morphe. But let's see how it performs. Oh, wow. Wow. Ooh, yeah. I think I really like this one. You know, my tried and true forever has been Shape Tape. So having like a backup and a new one is kind of nice, because I do like the Urban Decay one that they just, the Naked one that they just launched, but I don't feel like, for me, it's a little lightweight, and I kind of like a little bit of a thicker formula. This one isn't so super thick like Shape Tape, but it's definitely a thicker consistency. Now, I do want to see just how it builds up, because yes, I'm loving the coverage that it's giving me, but I kind of want to see how it builds up. Especially like under my eyes, like right here where I get a little bit darker, I like a little bit more coverage. So we're just gonna build it up just a teeny bit more. All right, now that that is all blended out, and I am totally in love with this look. I got the Juvias Place setting powder. I've tried their foundation, and it is definitely one of my favorite foundations. That's a little bit more on the cheaper side. This is in the shade White Sands. It's just a little bit translucent. I'm just going to take that on my damp beauty blender. Oh, God, I hate when I have to open these. And I'm just going to put that under my eyes. I'm not going to start off by baking, because I know that the concealer that I use is a little bit more of a matte formula. So I'm just going to start by kind of setting the under eyes using a little bit, and then I can go from there. Oh. Now that I kind of have all the areas where I put concealer set, we are going to just put this all over our whole face. Now, I do like that a little goes a long way with this, because I mean, I literally just have that much in the cap, and it was like going on very easily. So we're just gonna set our whole face with this. I'm so excited for Christmas. Everybody's like, oh, you're so excited to get presents. And I'm like, oh, that to me is not what Christmas is. Christmas is, to me, is spending time with my family and getting to see my niece open Christmas presents. It's just so exciting, because she's so little and young, and she loves Christmas, and she loves Santa, and it's so cool. All right. So now I'm going to just show you how I do a contour. This is the, I know I'm using a lot of Morphe products, but I promise I'm not going to use all Morphe. This is the Morphe, I want to say AL. I don't know which one is for lighter skins, AH or AL, but this one is just like, I love a deep contour, so I'm going to just start in with Debutante and Donut mixed. And I'm going to just start this as my contour. This is my Morphe M405 contour brush. It's just like a nice angled, soft Ooh, there's quite a bit of fallout in those. Like, you can literally watch it fall out. But fallout doesn't really bother. Ooh, gosh. This is way more pigmented than what I thought it would be. Fallout doesn't bother me as much if the product performs very well. Like, I know some people who are like, oh my gosh, there's so much fallout. Why would you want this? And I'm like, but if it's a good product, even if there's a lot of fallout, like, and it performs well, you know, like, I can see past fallout. I can brush that off. I can clean my palettes. I can do whatever I need to do to get the fallout to be cleaned up. The nice things about using translucent powder is you can kind of go over the edges of your contour and it'll kind of help buff it out. So I'm just going to dip back into that Juvias place and I'm just going to kind of blend that over the edges so we don't have any harsh edges. So we're just going to kind of buff over those edges just so our contour looks a little bit more blended. And then you can always do baking if you want, but I don't feel the need to because I kind of like my contour a little bit more. I like it dark and harsh, but I'm okay that it's not precise. All right, so now that we have our contour on, I'm gonna throw some blush on. I like to use a more dense brush. I don't know where I got this, but it's just been laying around forever. And let's just talk about Bare Minerals for a second. I feel like a lot of people don't know what Bare Minerals is, and I'm like, who does not know what this company is? Their blushes are phenomenal. And because for me, I like a blush that I can kind of build up. These are the Bounce and Blur blushes. Bounce and Blur blushes. They're like a creamy blush, so if you're like on the go real quick, you can just dip your finger in and kind of throw it on. But for me, I like to use this dense brush, and this is in the shade Pink Sky. It's just a really pinky blush. And then I am going to take it on this brush and I'm just going to toss this into the apples of my cheeks. Now, I don't like to bring my contour down way far into my cheek area because I want my blush to be the star of the show in that area. So we're going to just, oh gosh. Yeah, love this blush. Now, for those of you who like are kind of skeptical about like, well, why do you use so much powder? I'm like, I just use so much powder because I can and I know how to get my skin to like, you gotta do what's gonna work best with your skin. I know how to make my skin look hydrated and dewy, even if I put a crap ton of powder on it. I love this blush. Oh yeah, definitely my favorite blush. But I've also noticed that like over time, like your best friend can be translucent powder. Like it is like, you literally like an eraser. I'm just gonna throw a little bit on. I don't want to bake like a ton, but just to kind of give us a little bit more of a precise contour. Oh, that blush is phenomenal. I do notice too, under my eyes is not creasing as bad as it normally does, which means that that concealer is like gonna be my new favorite. Now, I did pick up at Ulta the new, these aren't new anymore, but they were new, but I just never tried them. This is the Snowflake Loose Highlighter by Anastasia. Like, I've never tried these, and I'm so excited. Let's see, where is my highlight brush? Does anyone else have a brush problem? Because, oh my gosh, why do I own so many brushes? This is the Morphe 501 brush, and I'm just going to use this, and I'm going to pour a little bit in. And we're going to see how it performs first before I use like a ton. I'm going to like swirl my highlighter brush inside the cap so it kind of works it onto the brush. And then we're just going to place it. Oh my gosh. I should have knew it was an Anastasia product. I should have knew. Now, the one thing about highlight is you should never place it where you have a lot of texture because it's only going to bring that out more. So, like, if I have a pimple or a breakout, I'm not going to place my highlight where that is. Like, I'm purposely going to leave that area out. Oh, look at that blush, or blush highlighter. The blush is pretty too. All right, we're going to just do the same thing, swirl the highlight with our highlighting brush, and I'm just going to place. Sometimes I use like a denser brush, but for today, I just want a little bit of highlight. I don't want to be like overly highlighted. So we are just going to place little. Sometimes I'll do my forehead depending on like how highlighted I want to look. These loose highlighters are so beautiful. Oh my gosh. All right, so I will say that this Juvias Place setting powder in White Sands, definitely one of my new favorite powders, and this is one of my new favorite highlights. I'm not as picky when it comes to contour and blush because even if I have to build them up, I will still kind of build them up. But I did like the Morphe contour. I wasn't a big fan of like this shade and the highlight, which is what I was originally going to put on. But that to me was just a little too pinky for me. Even though it looks white in the pan, it had more of a pink reflect. So I kind of kept that out. So I decided to do this. And I'm so happy I did because this is absolutely must have. I'm just going to go ahead and set my face with my Jeffree Star Morphe collab setting spray. And then I'm going to give you some thoughts. Alright guys, so for me, like my skin looks very dewy and very glowy, and I love the way that my skin looks. But for me, one of my favorite things to do is, like I said when I was doing my setting powder, this is your best friend and your eraser. So when I'm doing a base, this is going to be like my go-to. And even if like I don't want to put foundation on, I'm going to put this all over my face just to kind of help with my oil control. And then I will always throw on a little bit of highlight. Can never go wrong with highlight. So here we have it. Here is my base routine all done. Face, contour, blush, highlight, foundation. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please subscribe to my channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you like seeing face routines, because these are some of my favorite ways of learning how to do my makeup. And for me, I have dry to normal skin, so this is what works best for me. I did love all of the products I tried for the first time today. There was nothing that really disappointed me. So I hope you enjoyed watching, and I'll see you next time. Toodaloo!